Hello, I'm Barbara Alexander.
And I'm Molinard. Barbara and I have created the Unique Self Emergence Process, a psycho-spiritual development technology that weaves together the latest knowledge in Western psychology with the wisdom of the world's spiritual traditions. For years, Barbara and I had been looking for the intersection between these two disciplines that are so dear to our hearts, because we knew that without the two, real change and transformation cannot occur. So we trained in various disciplines and looked for various training programs, but never really quite found what we were looking for, until we discovered integral theory and the unique self-teachings. That really was the turning point for us to actually find the theoretical background we wanted. Yet we hadn't found a method or a training that would actually help us with this practically in our practice. So we created the process that we had been looking for all these years.
Not only that, we created the training program that we've been looking for, because as we worked together and as we saw the process's impact on the people with whom we work, we realized that the Unique Self Emergence Process is a powerful contribution to the shift in consciousness that our world so desperately needs right now. So if you're a change agent who wants to deepen the impact of your work, if you, like us, have searched for a method, a process that's practical and is theoretically well-grounded to no avail, we invite you through this series of videos into an experience of the Unique Self Emergence Process.
In my 25 years working with people at different capacities, I was always interested in understanding what are the patterns that connect. How does the spiritual development come in to play with the psychological work, and how does this coaching modality work with the therapeutic modality, and how do we bring these things together to empower individuals, to help them wake up, grow up, and show up. So, of course, when I discovered integral theory, I was finally able to put all that into a meta frame that really gave me a map. But it wasn't until I found the unique self-teachings that I could really understand how the psychological work and the spiritual awakening work together. From my own experience, I had spiritual awakenings before I did the psychological work. And so I really needed to understand the place that psychology takes into one's full awakening.
I started my career as a psychotherapist. And in the early years, I was finding new processes and new methodologies that would help my clients. But it wasn't until I had a spiritual awakening that I realized that without that deep grounding, without the knowing of who we really are, true transformation doesn't happen. And that began, as we've talked about earlier, my search for the marriage of psychotherapy and spirituality. When Claire and I met, it was such a pleasure to find someone who had been on a very similar trajectory, but coming from a different angle, who also knew integral theory and was studying and practicing the unique self-teachings, and who had actually started to use it in her work with clients. That was when the magic really began. We began to work together intensely for the next 9 months as we created what came to be known as the Unique Self Emergence Process. I live in Northern California. Claire lives in Paris, so we would meet weekly on Skype for hours at a time. And in between, we were pulling in materials and resources, things that we had studied and practiced over the years, emailing and texting each other. We ate it, we slept it, we dreamed it until we were ready to teach it.
So in the next 4 videos, we'll give you more of a theoretical background of the Unique Self teachings and an experiential taste of what the process is like.
We consider this to be the beginning of a conversation that we're happy to have with you individually as you continue to explore the Unique Self Emergence process.